with us in the studio now, Sarica Cernohous, and we're going to be talking about natural lifestyle and how we can have a natural lifestyle through food, exercise, acupuncture, you name it. I think we should be going on natural, don't you?
I do. I do. There's so many things we can do, and that's definitely what my site is dedicated to, is to just helping people figure out how to do their life in a more natural way in this modern world that we live in.
You've done acupuncture, Japanese acupuncture for more than
acupuncture.
Now, what's the difference between,
Well,
is there different kinds?
There are different kinds. You know, Japanese acupuncture is just one of a handful of specific types. You know, acupuncture is such an old practice of medicine, and there are many ways that the different continents have picked it up, if you will. And so in Japan, the tendency is for a thinner needle, a much sharper needle.
Oh, I like the Japanese way.
Yes, I do too.
What is the primary reason for acupuncture?
Well, you know, the thing of it is most people do come to me with the intent that they've got pain issues going on. As I've done my practice over the years, what I've come to realize is that the acupuncture is incredible, but I always tell my patients that there's only so much I can do in an hour. And it's upon them then to take, hopefully, the suggestions that I make to them, take that home and employ those in their life so that they can really get the full benefit of having a healthier life.
And what would an example be? I mean, are you talking about nutrition changes, changes in nutrition?
That's foundational. And the reason that I feel that way is I feel that there's so many things that we don't have control over. But when it comes to nutrition, that is one place where we all can make a change for the better.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. I say that daily.
I know.
I have said that to my friends and my family so much.
Yes.
The world is full of everything that we have no control over.
That's right.
None.
That's
but we
right.
do have control on what goes in our mouth.
That's right. That's right. And so that's the crux of what I'm doing, is really trying to help people discern the ways they can do that, and to find that creative spark within themselves of, you know, getting back in their kitchen and making foods in traditional ways that, you know, maybe their great grandmas, you know, used it to make food.
Two things. I was reading a blog, and you had a great story about sugar. Do you recall that story?
Yes.
About?
Yes, the detrimental effect of sugar.
That's right.
Yes, and needless to say, it's ubiquitous.
Tell the story.
Yeah. Oh, well, there are a few of them. So lead me on to which one.
When you were born.
Oh,
going all the way back centuries, and the latest data in 2003.
Oh my goodness, it's incredible. Well, I mean, here's one little bit of information. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at the New York Times, and the statistics now for children in the 12 to 19 year range are that they are in either the pre-type 2 diabetic or type 2 diabetes.
And
19%.
We never saw young people with the type 2.
No,
that's adult onset.
it was labeled adult onset, and currently they don't call it that any longer. No.
But now corn syrup is worse.
Well, high fructose corn syrup is especially damaging. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes to sugars, our body has a pancreas, and the pancreas responds to spikes in blood sugar. And so if a person does eat a high fructose food and it's not balanced and buffered with, you know, hopefully some healthy fat, some healthy protein, they're going to get a huge spike in their insulin levels to respond to the glucose that is being poured into the bloodstream. And so, you know, if a person is going to indulge in, you know, a very sweet treat, I always do encourage them to make sure that they're having some healthy fat with that. You know, maybe it could be a small portion.
Before or after?
Well, preferably before, so that that's well into the bloodstream and the sugar doesn't have an opportunity to spike.
That's why our parents said sweets after you eat your dinner.
That's right.
They knew what they were talking about.
They did. They did. This is the wisdom.
And Tonya, we had a segment a few weeks ago about all natural body products. And I know that this is a topic that you like to address.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Yeah. You know, that's one of the points that I make also on my blog is, you know, people spend so much time taking care of what they do eat. You know, they make an effort toward that. But then they will slather so many chemicals on their body. There was a study that was done a few years back, and what it showed is Western women, on average, before they leave the house to go to work in the morning, they have been exposed to nearly 500 chemicals. And our skin is our most
It's the
absorptive
lotion,
organ.
it's the-
From lotion to sprays.
That's right.
to deodorants,
The
hairspray.
dishwashing
The
soap, the makeup, all of it. And so, really, I really encourage people, to use the natural products on their body, to use the natural products in their homes. I mean, I live in the valley, and the thing is, a good portion of the year we're in airtight homes down there. And if people are using toxic chemicals in their home, that's what they're breathing, that's what their children are breathing, and that's bad. So
She's saying, I don't even want to go home. I want to go outside now.
And she's so smart. She knows about supplements and the right types of food. I remember, I tell you a lot on this show that I have a couple of young kids. And I had a young boy, you remember this story, who was very fussy. And she told me to go out and get some goat's milk.
Oh,
and
yes, I've heard about that.
It absolutely worked. And I don't know, how do you know that stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, it all really started when I was living in Payson, and I had a friend there who found a book called The Maker's Diet, written by a man named Jordan Rubin. And she read this book, and she brought it to me, and she said, Sarica, this sounds like the sort of thing that you're always talking about. And so I gave it a quick read, and I just said to myself, my goodness, if this were available to me when I was practicing acupuncture in Flagstaff and at the Grand Canyon, I would have handed out a copy to every patient. And the reason is because I felt like in that book, he really hit it on the head in terms of helping to bring traditional foods, things that are healthy options for us to be eating. He made that a very approachable topic.
Speaking of wisdom of our parents and grandparents, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And I just recently heard, now I might be overstating because I have a tendency to exaggerate, 1,000 plus vitamins and nutrients in an apple.
Oh, absolutely. We don't even know what's all in there. Oh, absolutely. We're only limited by our ability to test and what to look for. It's incredible. To eat foods as close to their original state as we can get them is the best way.
I just had a friend say he went to a doctor's visit, and I said, how did it work out? He said, I'm doing fine. The doctor told me to go get on a caveman diet.
Yeah, paleo.
So, I mean, you understand the inference of that, right?
Yeah.
I do, and actually our family adopted that style of eating, and I have 2 children, they're 5 and 7, and so I did this for them. And yeah, we've done that. We know what that feels like.
So, Rika, how can we find you?
Oh, my website, naturallylivingtoday.com. That's a wonderful place to find me. That's my contact page on there as well.
You're also on Facebook under the same name.
I am. That's right. Absolutely. People can find me there.
Thank you, Sarica, for joining us.
Thank you
You're a
so
delight.
much.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. Thanks, Bo.
When we come back, so you think you want